welcome to World Now at 4. I am Adnan Lubem. First, the headlines. On the headlines, FG orders closure of FGC Kwali tightens security in Unity colleges. Death toll from Kenya bus crash rises above 30. On the world stage, UN envoy heads to Middle East to push Yemen peace talks. On sports, Xavi dismisses claims on playing games with Frankie de Jong. And now to the news in detail. The Federal Ministry of Education has ordered the immediate closure of one of its colleges, the Federal Government College Kwali, located in Kwali Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. The Education Minister, Adamu, gave the directive in the early hours of this morning and said the closure became necessary following security breaches on Sheda and Lambata villages, suburbs of Kwali Area Council, which also threatened FGC Kwali. According to the minister, the timely intervention of security agencies saved the situation. He also directed that arrangements should be made for final year students to conclude their NECO examinations. The minister has also directed principals of Unity colleges across the country to liaise with security agencies within their jurisdictions in order to forestall any security breach in the schools. In a bid to restore the peace enjoyed in communities in Plateau State prior to the recent spikes in insecurity, the Special Task Force Operation Safe Haven has trained 165 members of the Civilian Joint Task Force. The training is to improve their roles in community watch and skills in security information gathering in the Riyom Council area. Hassan Gwani, Commander Sector Riyom, commented on the importance of the training. In the same vein, Deputy Commander Operation Safe Haven Mohammed Rabiu called on the newly trained officers to follow the rules and regulations guiding the security forces. In his remarks, the chairman Riyom Council area, Mafeng Golson, thanked the security forces for possibly making steps to promote peace and orderliness in the state. Pan-Northern Socio-Political Organization, Arewa Consultative Forum, and the Coalition of Northern Groups have condemned the viral videos of the terrorists flogging hostages of the AK-9 Abuja-Kaduna train, urging the federal government to wake up to its responsibility of protecting Nigerians. While saying the incident was unfortunate, the ACF, through its Secretary General Mohammed Aliyu, described the flogging of the hostages as nasty. The ACF urged the government to wake up to its responsibility of saving the lives of the abductees as well as other Nigerians. Mutala, while speaking to newsmen when reacting to the incident, said the issues of flogging or threatening by the terrorists were quite unfortunate. Meanwhile, the CNG, a coalition of over 50 groups in the region, urged Nigerians to rise up and defend themselves in the apparent failure of the regime of the President, Muhammadu Buhari, to protect them. The spokesperson of the CNG, Abdulaziz Suleiman, noted with regret that the terrorists were now exploiting on the failure of the government to torment Nigerians. In a related development, the Arewa Youth Assembly has warned that unless the remaining 43 train passengers abducted by terrorists on March 28 are released, the 2023 general elections will not hold in the north. This was as the Assembly, through its Speaker, Mohammed Danlami, in a statement issued in Kaduna on Monday, called for the probe of all military spending in the war against terrorism and banditry across the country. According to the statement, the youth of the region will ensure that nobody participates in any political activities or the forthcoming election if their brothers and sisters in captivity are not released. The group, which noted that it shared the pains and agony families of victims of the train attack were going through, also warned the authorities against taking its threat with levity. The Assembly, which comprises youth drawn from the 19 northern states and Abuja, also called for the immediate sack of the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Monguno, saying that he had run out of ideas. Besides, the group noted that the authorities concerned must ensure that all territories conquered by the terror groups must be liberated before the forthcoming general elections. When we return, news from other parts of Africa. Stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. And now to news from other parts of Africa. Death toll from a bus accident in central Kenya has risen to 30, police confirmed to newsmen today. Senior police officials said Ronald Bune, the bus must have developed brake failure because it was at a very high speed when the accident happened. Bune said earlier today that the toll grew from 30 overnight, with others hospitalized with injuries. The passenger bus carrying an unknown number of people on Sunday evening fell off a bridge and plunged into a river along a highway from Meru to the capital, Nairobi. The accident is the latest in a series of deadly clashes in Kenya and across the wider East African region, where roads are often narrow and police blame speeding drivers for crashes. At least 20 passengers were killed on July 8 in a crash along the highway from Nairobi to the coastal city of Mombasa. Protesters stormed a United Nations, that is UN, base in the eastern Congolese city of Goma today, demanding the departure of peacekeepers from the region. Hundreds of people blocked roads and chanted anti-UN slogans before storming to the headquarters of the UN peacekeeping mission in Goma, as well as a logistical base on the outskirts of the city. The protesters smashed windows and looted computers, furniture and other valuables from the headquarters. The UN peacekeeping mission in the DRC, MONUSCO, has come under regular local criticism for its perceived inability to stop fighting in the conflict-torn East. Over 120 armed groups roam the volatile region where conflict has displaced millions of people and civilian massacres are common. The latest protest comes after the president of the Congolese Senate, Modeste Bahati, told supporters in Goma on July 15 that MONUSCO should pack its bag. Ahead of today's protest, the Goma Youth branch of the ruling UDPS party released a statement demanding MONUSCO withdraw from Congolese soil without condition because it has already proven its incapacity to provide citizens with protection. Kassim Diagne, the deputy social representative of the UN Secretary General to MONUSCO, said the UN is not opposed to the protest, but that violence is unacceptable. We now move to other parts of the world. After this break, stay with us. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now to news from other parts of the world. Russia's top diplomat Sergei Lavrov reassured Egyptian leaders on Sunday that their orders for Russian grain would be met. The conflict in Ukraine has raised the prospect of food shortages in Africa. During his speech in Cairo, Lavrov denounced Western blame put on Russia for the current crisis. Lavrov's visit follows a landmark deal Russia and Ukraine signed on Friday with the United Nations and Turkey aimed at relieving a global food crisis caused by blocked Black Sea grain deliveries. Between 20 and 25 million tons of grain have been blocked in Ukrainian ports since Russian troops invaded in February. The government of the Bahamas said at least 17 people from Haiti have died in a boat accident off the coast of the Bahamas. Bahamian PM Philip Davis said it's his thought those on board were traveling from Haiti to Miami, Florida in the United States. There were other 25 people who were rescued, including one woman who was found alive inside the overturned boat. One child was among the dead, and at least one person is still missing, with such missions underway. The number of people attempting the dangerous journey to the United States has increased significantly with the rise in Haiti of gang violence coupled with endemic poverty. Preliminary investigations suggest that the speedboat left New Providence, the most populous island in the Bahamian archipelago, around 1 p.m. that is 0500 GMT on Sunday, with some 60 people on board. U.S. State Department says the special envoy for Yemen leaves for Saudi Arabia and Jordan on Monday to continue Washington's diplomatic efforts to back a United Nations mediated truce in Yemen. Team Lenda King will continue efforts to help advance peace, the department said in a statement on the trip, which follows U.S. President Joe Biden's trip to the region earlier this month. And on to business matters, where Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, on a diplomatic offensive in Egypt, has dismissed claims that Moscow caused the global food crisis. In a speech to Arab League ambassadors in Cairo, he said Western nations were distorting the truth about the impact of sanctions on global food security. He accused Western nations of trying to impose their dominance over others. Much of the Arab world and Africa is badly affected by grain shortages caused by Russia's war in Ukraine. A landmark deal signed to resume Ukraine's grain exports hangs in the balance after Russia attacked targets in the port of Odessa on Saturday. Lavrov will go on to visit 3 African nations to rally support amid anger over the war. Earlier, Lavrov held talks with his Egyptian counterpart, Sameh Shoukry, and Egypt, who says they both have significant ties with Russia, which supplies wheat, weapons, and until the invasion of Ukraine began large numbers of tourists. After his talks with Shoukry, Lavrov told a joint news conference that the West was prolonging the conflict, even though it understood what and whose end it will be. The African Development Bank says Ukraine and Russia usually supply more than 40% of Africa's wheat. Egypt is normally a big consumer of Ukrainian wheat. In 2019, it imported 3.62 million tons of it, more than any other country. Still talking business on the world stage, shops in France will be ordered to close doors when using air conditioning and limit neon lighting in a bid to cut energy waste. A minister has said the rules already in place in some areas will be rolled out across France. Minister of Ecological Transition Agnes Pannier-Runacher told reporters that energy costs in Europe have spiraled since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Shops will be fined up to 750 euros or £640 for breaking the air conditioning rule, adding that leaving doors open when air conditioning is on is absurd. She is expected to issue 2 decrees on energy waste in the coming days, adding that the first will widen the ban on illuminated advertising, whatever the size of the city, between 1 and 6 p.m. The ban on neon signs is already in force in areas with a population under 800,000. Airports and stations are exempted. All companies have warned energy rationing cannot be ruled out in the EU as the region struggles to cope with disruptions to gas supplies from Russia. France continues to experience extreme hot weather, increasing demand for air conditioning. Still to come on World Now at 4, it's sports. Don't go away.
A very good evening to you and welcome to Sport News on World Now at 4. I'm Richard Badung. Nigerian hurdles hopeful Tobi Amusan became the first Nigerian athlete to win a World Athletics Championship gold as she stormed to victory in the women's 100-meter hurdles in Oregon on Sunday. Amusan, who had obliterated the world record in an astonishing semi-final where she clocked 12.12 seconds, powered over the line at Hayward Field in 12.06 seconds. Jamaicans Brittany Anderson took silver in 12.23 seconds, while Olympic champion Jasmine Camacho Quinn of Puerto Rico claimed bronze in 12.33 seconds. Amusan had produced a jaw-dropping world record in the semi-finals, smashing the previous best mark of 12.20 seconds held by Kenny Harrison of the United States since 2016, and she was filled with joy as she spoke to reporters.
Amazing. You know, I'm elated. It's been a journey and I'm thankful to God for keeping me healthy, and I couldn't be more thankful to have come out here with the win and the world record. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know, coming into the semis, I knew it was a very competitive field, so the goal was to execute and, you know, survive to the finals, and seeing the world record, I'm like, yes, yes.
After a successful outing in the just concluded 2021-2022 Nigeria Professional Football League season, NPFL striker Sikiru Alimi has left Remo Stars. According to reliable sources, Alimi joined the Sky Blue Star in the second half of the season, and his efforts propelled the team to the third position in the league. He was able to score 9 goals for the club as they secured the spot in the CAF Confederations Cup. The former Lobby Stars striker contract expired with the club last week, and he was persuaded by the management to stay, but he chose to move on ahead of new season. Meanwhile, still talking about the World Athletics, Ese Brume claimed the silver medal in women's long jump at the 2022 World Athletics Indoor Championships going on in Belgrade on Sunday. She left 6.85 meters to become the third Nigerian athlete to win medals in all 3 global athletics championships, including Olympics. Ivana Valueta claimed the gold medal at 7.08 meter jump, while Lauren Ugen of Great Britain clinched bronze. Brume had won a bronze medal at the 2019 World Athletics Championships in Doha, Qatar. She also claimed the bronze medal at the Tokyo Olympics in 2021. The Delta-born long jumper has now joined Gloria Lozier and the late Sunday Bada as athletes who have won medals at World Athletics indoor events and the Olympics. Barcelona manager Xavi Hernandez has denied sending messages to Frenkie de Jong after playing the midfielder out of position and amid uncertainty over his future. De Jong has started neither of Barcelona's preseason clashes in America and was asked to play as a centre-back after coming on as a substitute in their recent wins over Real Madrid. Some fans have suggested playing the Dutchman out of position was an attempt from Xavi to persuade his midfielder to complete his move to Manchester United. Barcelona is set to make a £51 million bid for Jules Koundé of Sevilla later today, with Xavi confident of stealing the French defender from under Chelsea's noses, despite the Blues having a £55 million deal in place with Sevilla. And that's Sport News on World Now at 4. Back to Ian and Lubem for the rest of the news. I'm Richard Badum.
back from the sports stories and now to the rest of the news. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has arraigned a Deputy Chief Registrar of the Federal High Court, Port Harcourt, Nkem Mba, for alleged involvement in some fraudulent activities. According to a statement by the ICPC spokesperson, Azuka Ogugwa, one of the counts revealed that the Deputy Chief Registrar received a kickback of 500,000 naira through her bank account from the purchase of automotive gas oil, popularly known as diesel, and other products. Mba was arraigned before Justice Letim Yodi of the Federal High Court 12, Port Harcourt, on a 3 counts bordering on abuse of office and corrupt demand of gratification by a public officer. She, however, pleaded not guilty when the charge was read to her, arguing that the money was her 2% entitlement according to Order 16 of the Admiralty Jurisdiction Procedure Rule 2011. Contrary to her plea, the court held that her offense contravened Sections 10 and 19 of the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act 2000 and is punishable under relevant sections of the same act. And that's World Now at 4, but before we go, a quick look at the headlines once again. On the headlines, we told you FG orders closure of FGC Kwali tightens security in Unity colleges. Data from Kenya bus crashes rise above 30. We also told you U.S. envoy heads to Middle East to push Yemen peace talks. On sport, we told you Xavi dismisses claim on playing games with Frankie de Jong. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hughes TV, Instagram at Hughes TV, our YouTube channel at Hughes TV. I am Ainan Lubem. Thank you for watching.